Let's begin with the first type of analytics, line crossing and sterile area. We refer to this category as DDA1, which stands for Detect, Distinguish, and Alert. This type of analytics uses AI-based pattern recognition to detect motion from three categories of objects: humans, four-wheel vehicles, and two-wheel vehicles, such as motorcycles and bicycles. A line crossing is designed to detect objects crossing a virtual line within the camera's frame, either in a specific direction or in any direction. This analytics rule is useful, for example, in detecting someone climbing a fence to enter a property, or a vehicle traveling in the wrong direction. A sterile area is defined as a closed polygon that detects motion occurring inside the area or objects crossing into it from outside. This type of analytics rule is especially useful for protecting designated zones, such as a backyard or other restricted areas.
In this video, we demonstrate the complete process of setting up line crossing analytics. We began by selecting a camera that supports this type of analytics from the list of cameras connected to the NVR. Next, we enable the line crossing analytics option. Draw the virtual line and define the direction in which object movement should be detected. In this first example, we want to respond only to two-wheeled vehicles, such as motorcycles and bicycles, so we select the corresponding object type. Finally, we configure the response to this event, which will be a full-screen pop-up displayed on the NVR's local screen. Switch to Live View and select the four-camera layout to observe the full-screen pop-up when a two-wheel vehicle crosses the line. To view events detected by all cameras connected to the NVR, change the right-hand panel to Object Recognition mode. To display the rules configured on each camera, open the Settings panel at the bottom of the screen and enable Video Overlay. This allows you to show bounding boxes around detected objects and display each detection rule in a specific color. With the rules and bounding boxes now visible, it becomes easier to understand which objects the camera is detecting in real time. When a two-wheel vehicle crosses the line, a full-screen pop-up is triggered, the detection rule turns red, and an event snapshot with the object cropped from the frame appears in the right-hand panel. Once the event is over, the display returns to the four-camera split layout. As we can see, when a car, a four-wheeled object, crosses the line, no detection event is triggered. Now, let's configure the cameras to detect four-wheeled vehicles specifically. We simply select the appropriate checkbox and switch back to Live View to see the detection in action. Next, let's move on to sterile area detection. Select another camera from the list of cameras connected to the NVR. Before configuring the sterile area role, we'll first review a new section introduced in a recent camera firmware version. In this interface, you can define the minimum and maximum object size that the camera should detect. This helps eliminate detections of distant objects and allows for more accurate camera calibration when needed. For this example, we'll enable the rule, select humans as the target object type, and draw the detection polygon. We'll then set the target size to match a person approaching the camera. We configure the response to trigger a full screen pop-up, send a push notification to the app, and proceed to test the setup. As you can see, when a person moves within the polygon but is still too small, no detection or reaction occurs. Only when the person gets closer to the camera and becomes large enough to meet the defined detection size does the camera trigger the event. At that point, a full screen pop-up appears on the corresponding channel, and a push notification is sent to the Cam2 app exactly as configured for this rule. Next, we will test the area entry and area exit rules, which are based on the sterile area configuration. These rules allow us to trigger a response only when a human or another selected object enters or exits the defined area. We'll create two separate rules, one for entry and one for exit. Both rules will be configured to detect humans only, with the response set to a full screen pop-up, and then we'll test them to see the result in action. The rule on the left is configured to detect and react only when a person leaves the detection polygon, while the rule on the right is set to detect a person entering the polygon. As a result, when a person enters the left polygon, no action is triggered until the moment he exits the area. After a short delay, during which the screen layout returns to normal, the person enters the right polygon, where the detection reacts immediately since this rule is configured to respond to entry events.
All line crossing and sterile area events can be reviewed in the Analytics section of the NVR or through the Cam2 application. By clicking the three-dot menu and selecting Search by Event, we can define the target we are looking for. This allows us to choose the analytics type, specify the date and time range, and select the channels in which to search for the events. From the results list, we can select the desired event and switch to playback to review it. The same methodology can be applied when searching for vehicle-related events using the CAM2 application.